Another day, another god awful, stupid, and dangerous TikTok trend that is leading the impressionable youth to take something or do something or just buy stuff that is eventually going to get them killed. I'm sure all of you by now are relatively familiar with TikTok, and that TikTok has a TikTok shop where there you can find anywhere from keyboards to lingerie to just the weirdest kind of stuff imaginable for a pretty cheap price. And admittedly, I recently bought myself a TikTok shop keyboard because, as a fan of keyboards myself, and also the fact that my Ducky 1-2 Mini is kind of struggling, the X and C keys are currently broken. I bought one off a TikTok shop for roughly $30 just to see what might happen. And hey, you know, it might be the greatest thing in the world. It might be the golden age of buying cheap budget keyboards. You know, I've always been looking for that. I'm going off on a side tangent, but regardless, TikTok shop, the dark web essentially of TikTok, and we're gonna get into it right now because there is a ridiculous new trend that is going around the impressionable youth here, and oh my gosh, I have never been so embarrassed to be below the age of 21. Nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide is a chemical. It is a chemical gas that is odorless, colorless, and non-flammable, so it shares relatively the same properties as oxygen, except when inhaled, it cuts off the circulation to your brain and leads to a temporary and extremely short state of euphoria. It basically leads to a high, and people have been consuming it for recreational use and for whatever reason, because, you know, when you want to do stuff like that, when you want to inhale or take something, you want to spend all this money and all this effort into a 5-second high. I'll get into that in a second because the rabbit hole goes pretty deep. Nitrous oxide can be commonly found in things like balloons, which are called whippets. Now, whippets are a type of, again, recreational party drug word. I don't know if I can say that word on YouTube because I want to stay monetized. I want to eventually make money off of this channel, but they are a kind of recreational substance that you take to, again, get a temporary high. And this high only lasts for roughly, 5 to 10 seconds? I don't do that kind of stuff, and I never will for sure, but I don't know if going through all that effort and all that money to get the actual substance that you want to use to get that euphoria for 5 seconds. I mean, I'm sure the actual euphoria, like when you're feeling it, like gets elongated, but I don't know, that it doesn't really seem worth it to me. Another thing this nitrous oxide gas can be used for is for flavoring whipped cream. Now, this is where the TikTok shop part comes in and the trend, because it is very easily consumable. Right, you take this bottle of nitrous oxide where it is branded and labeled and flavored into something called Galaxy Gas, and you can buy this in Walmart. You can buy this on the TikTok shop. You can buy this it basically anywhere. It's very accessible and it is flavored. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to get this like special canister, add some whipped cream and like add the gas, shake it up, and then you're supposed to spray the whipped cream on like pancakes or something, and there you go. You have raspberry flavored whipped cream on top of your pancakes. That sounds really good. But no, because of course, some dumb group of kids decides to ruin the fun for all of us. Some dumb and impressionable youth, children, people just see their favorite rappers or their favorite celebrities inhaling this stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, let me go ahead and mimic what they're doing and ruin my brain circulation. So what they're doing is they're taking the Galaxy Gas canisters, which are extremely expensive, by the way, like $30 to $40 for one canister, I believe, and they're opening it and they're inhaling it. And it is kind of disgusting. I'm not going to show videos of the results of what happens to these children that inhale this nitrous oxide on my channel because I don't want that to be what my channel's about. And I'm sorry that both of the videos back to back have been negative, but it is crazy what this stuff does to these children. And I'm emphasizing that these are kids that are doing this. These are kids that are taking a substance that, first of all, no one should be taking, but generally adults take. It's like children taking a puff of a cig, like it's just disgusting. So what it does is not only does it, because it's like helium in a way, right? You inhale it and it makes your voice sound like someone took a razor blade and started going up and down your esophagus, right? It is disgusting. It makes their voices sound really bad. But it also makes them genuinely start to tweak out. Like they just heard that their fiance is cheating on them. They just go, oh. Like they start freaking out, and I don't know, well, I do know why, but I don't know that euphoria is supposed to make someone genuinely start losing their stuff. Like every time they take a whiff of this Galaxy Gas, they just lose all their marbles and they go crazy. But regardless, this 5-second euphoria and all the side effects, not worth it at all. Another thing that's been trending lately is Kanye. Well, Kanye West is always trending. He's always in him and his little goofy little mind. You know how his goofy little mind plays tricks on him, but he is trending a little bit for having some leaked text messages, some to, I don't know, like producers or whatever, and some to Playboy Cardi, talking about how he needs his nitrous. Now, some images have surfaced of Kanye West in a breathing tube over his nose, and this is because he has done so much nitrous, he has inhaled so much of this nitrous oxide gas that the oxygen supply to his brain is becoming short. It's like there's two highways. One is the oxygen to your brain, and one is the nitrous oxide. And you take a roadblock to the oxygen side, so you're just allowing the traffic from the nitrous oxide to go into your brain, and that's not good. There's a story of this young woman who got very addicted to nitrous oxide to the point where she was doing, I think, upwards of 700 canisters per week, which is a lot of money. That's over $1,000 a week. And it got so bad to the point where she lost so much oxygen where she lost control of her legs and her arms. She paralyzed herself from this stuff. And it's being sold in Walmart. It's being sold on TikTok. It's being made into a trend. This is the kind of stuff that news reporters will say, oh yeah, look at these. Every single children on TikTok is going to inhale nitrous oxide because of this one trend. That's why we need to ban TikTok. No. When I say children are doing this trend, I mean a very select few of children who are missing one or two parental figures that do not know how to teach. But wow, regardless of everything, this is just kind of wild. And honestly, it's pretty upsetting to see. And again, honestly, I'm very glad my parents were extremely strict with me growing up. This is why I will never do anything like this. I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea. Another massive detail of why this is so wild to me is that you can see on the packaging of the Galaxy Gas, or first of all, Galaxy Gas, like let's get this out of the way. Galaxy Gas, that just sounds like something you would inhale and get a high off of. Like Galaxy Gas, like are you serious? They couldn't have come up with a nice name like whipped cream flavoring or like, I don't know, something else. Regardless of its very playful name and a suggestive name, if I may say so myself, it says in bold red lettering, do not inhale. You should not inhale this stuff. I mean, I've made this entire video talking about why you shouldn't do this. It's pretty obvious. If I saw a canister of something that said Galaxy Gas or anything gas on it, I think inhaling it would genuinely lead to my intestines shooting up through my throat, and I would just die instantly on the spot. I really don't get it. I really don't. I would sooner take a knife and cut a piece of rubber off of my tires and eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a week straight than inhale this kind of stuff. It just, man, I mean, I wasn't raised like that, but I don't see the appeal whatsoever. Because again, aside from all of the damage that nitrous oxide can cause to your brain, this stuff is expensive. And every time you inhale it, there's a like 3 to 5 second high. That's it. Like after that, you come down for your high and you want more. Which leads me away from the science and into the speculation, which is where the fun starts. This is why I think it's so addictive, because not only is it a quick access to high, the high is quick. So it goes up and it goes down very fast. It's like the rising action and the falling action of the story like happen in like within the same 10-second time frame, and the climax is just 5 seconds long. Like you inhale, oh, get high, euphoria, straight back down. Which is why I think it's so addictive, and why I think also that people who are addicted to this kind of stuff genuinely start to get broke, because again, it is so expensive. And with that, I think it's pretty obvious what I'm trying to say. Don't do this stuff. Don't let your kids, or don't let your brother or sister or whatever, don't let them buy this stuff. Don't let them fall into the TikTok trends, because while it is still relatively niche, someone out there is going to think, oh yeah, let me just inhale this stuff and sound like the Cookie Monster is living inside of my stomach for a little bit. Yeah, no, don't do this. And on a side note, I'm very sorry about my upload schedule. I've been pretty busy lately, but I should be able to upload a few more videos within the next week or so. So stay tuned and stay safe.